Hello everybody, you're welcome back again to the Reggae Appreciation Society. There have been plenty of families who have made their mark in the history of the reggae genre, with the most popular of these being the Marley clan, as well as the Morgans or the Bonners. But most interestingly, almost nothing is known of the fascinating musical family tree of the first lady of reggae in the lovely Marcia Griffiths. She is best known as a member of the greatest backup singing team in modern music in the I3s, and being one of the first women to make their mark in Jamaica's music industry. She came from a family with exceptional musical talent that produced one of the greatest dancehall artists of all time, and also one of the greatest instrumentalists that the genre has ever seen. A clan with huge impact in the evolution of reggae as you know it today. But who are they? To begin with, we must go back to November 1949, when Lynette Griffith was born as the youngest into a family of 5, to a single father, Joseph, and a housewife mother, Beatrice Griffiths. Growing up in a poor and rough section of Western Kingston on Oxford Street in Hannahtown, her strict parents made very sure that she and her siblings wouldn't play in the dangerous streets, and always forced them to stay indoors. Heavily influenced by her father, the Griffith kids took to singing to alleviate the boredom, with her 2 older sisters emerging as the best singers in the whole house. But Lynette was passionate about singing and cut her teeth as a member of the local church choir, and began to participate at talent contests in the Kingston High School where she attended. At the age of 15, fortune smiled on her when a popular musician named Philip Bosie James of pioneer ska group the Blues Busters came to visit her neighbor and heard young Lynette singing her heart out. Totally captivated and blown away by her talent, he went round to her house and convinced her parents to allow him take her to a big talent contest at the popular Carib Theatre. Despite skepticism from the show organizers, young Lynette would put in a wonderful performance and made such a great impression that the same organizers got her to perform that night on television on a popular variety show. Her exploits that evening sparked a crazy contest between 2 of Jamaica's most powerful producers in Coxsone Dodd of Studio One and Duke Reid of Treasure Isle, who both fought and lobbied hard to convince Lynette's father to sign a recording contract with them on his child's behalf. Eventually, Coxsone Dodd won that contest, as young Lynette's dad believed that Studio One would provide a better learning environment for his daughter. She would get mentorship from the Wailers, Owen Gray, and many other Studio One acts that would all mold her into a classy performer. She felt her name Lynette was too boring and began to go by the name of Marcia Griffiths. Not long after, she scored her breakout hit Feel Like Jumping that became a smash in Jamaica and even charted in Great Britain. As Marcia and her family were celebrating her breakthrough, the family soon had another reason to be excited, as her mother's youngest brother and her uncle Alfred Maragh and his wife Eulalie had just had their first child, a baby boy that they named William Anthony Maragh. Marcia's mother and her brother Alfred were part of the Indo-Jamaican community, all descendants of the indentured laborers shipped in from India to Jamaica by the British colonial authorities to provide cheap labor on the island after the abolition of slavery in the 19th century. A large number of Indian Jamaican families would settle in West Kingston and would form what became tight-knit communities. So while Marcia's mom, Beatrice Griffiths, lived in Hannahtown, her brother Alfred and his family lived a kilometer away in Seavright Gardens, more popularly known as Cockburn Pen. That neighborhood was among the most dangerous places in Kingston, but ironically also a pulsating musical hub with numerous sound systems and lots of local stars. Marcia's little cousin, William, just like her at his age, had a powerful love and aptitude for music, and by the age of 7 had started sneaking out to watch dancehall DJs do their thing at sound system dances, and loved hanging out in front of record stores where the latest songs were blasting out of speakers by the front door. He was 10 years old when arguably the first reggae DJ of Indian descent in Ranking Trevor passed him the microphone to toast over at the sound system dance, an experience that made him sure of what he wanted to do with his life. Around the same time, in 1973, Marcia Griffiths was already a decade into a successful solo career when she and Judy Mowat were drafted by Rita Marley to form the I3s, the iconic backup singing team that became one of the pillars and secret weapons behind Bob Marley and the Wailers' emergence as the greatest reggae band of all time, up until the sad passing of Bob Marley in 1981. Around the time Bob Marley just passed, her young cousin William Maragh had just gotten released from Kingston General Penitentiary, where he had been locked up for flouting a government-ordered curfew, and was then emerging as one of the hottest upcoming DJs on the sound system circuit. He would build up a massive following in Kingston with various sound systems before he joined one of the biggest and most popular in the legendary Kilimanjaro. He soon began to work with ace producer Winston Riley as a recording artist, who in 1986 produced his breakout monster hit, Boops. Incidentally, the instrumental or rhythm on that track was based and sampled from his cousin Marcia's own breakout hit, Feel Like Jumping, from 20 years earlier. The track Boops was just a start, as he would unleash a slew of mega hits and built a fan base to America, where he would move to in 1988, and within 3 years landed a mega album deal with Columbia Records that culminated with his classic album The Don Dada, which established him as an all-time legend of dancehall. Dancehall by then had emerged as the #1 sound out of Jamaica, and the third cousin in this clan played what was an integral part in the epic rise of that sound, in the person of none other than legendary bassist Flabba Holt of the Roots Radics. Born Errol Carter, he too was born in and grew up in Denhamtown, West Kingston, also a stone's throw from Hannahtown and Seavide Gardens, where Supercat and Marcia Griffiths were born and raised. Raised by his mother and older sisters, his parents broke up when he was still a baby. His father was also of East Indian heritage, as Flabba's grandmother was a cousin of Supercat and Marcia's parents, the Maraghs. In the family's tradition, he took to entertainment at a very young age and started out as a dancer before trying his hands on singing and eventually finding his calling as a bassist in the early 70s. After cutting his teeth as a studio session instrumentalist in various studios, putting out music for artists like Prince Far Eye and Don Carlos, he and guitarist Eric Lamont formed what became the Roots Radics band in 1978, which would emerge around the same time that dancehall was about to overtake Roots Reggae as the #1 sound in Jamaica's streets. The Roots Radics over time became the in-house band at the highly renowned Channel 1 studios, and soon went into a collaboration with the then upcoming John Joe Laws, a partnership that almost single-handedly revolutionized Jamaican music by making dancehall the favorite sound of the youth, making rhythms for foundational dancehall artists like Barrington Levy, Ika Mouse, and Yellowman. Flabba was the engine room of the thousands of rhythms cranked out by the Roots Radics that was so powerful and cutting-edge that it defined the identity of reggae and dancehall and Jamaican music in general in the 1980s, as they backed practically every major artist in that time, including their best-known works for Gregory Isaacs at his peak, especially his masterpiece, Night Nurse. And before I forget, Supercat's youngest brother, Junior Cat, is also an accomplished dancehall artist in his own right. Though highly underreported, the Maragh cousins have left a heavy mark on reggae with a unique triple threat of a classic reggae singer and pioneer, an era-defining legendary dancehall DJ, and one of the greatest instrumentalists of all time. So there you have it. Thank you for watching this video today. Please leave a like, subscribe, and until next time, Jah bless.